All right, well, here's the Kramer. Pretty much done. It's been a few months now since I made a video about this guitar. When we last left off, it was in its stock condition, and it was in pretty rough shape. Since then, we've done some upgrades, and we'll get right to it. First thing we did was we thinned the headstock. The headstock was, about 5/8 of an inch thick, a little thicker than a standard Fender. So I used my trusty old Craftsman jointer and took 1/16 of an inch off the back of the headstock here, and thinned it down to 9/16, which is the same thickness as your typical Fender headstock or most clones, so that I could put on a set of brand new Spurzels. And what I did, though, I did have to open the holes up, but that's not too hard to do. You can do that by hand with just using gradually larger drill bits until you get to the right size. I did have to use slightly taller Spurzels. These are old. These are out of my part stash from a long time ago, and they're a little bit taller than the ones that came with the set of new ones, and it helped with the string angle here. And I probably could have used the other ones, but these it just looked better, so I just went with these. I don't know if you can still get taller ones like this or not. I have no idea, but hopefully you can. I haven't looked, to be honest. So what else did we do? We put on a set of Graphtec graphite string tees, a Graphtec Tusk XL nut. As you can see, I haven't got around to finish shaping it yet, but I'll worry about that later. The frets are still just like they were from the factory. I haven't polished them, I haven't leveled them, I haven't ground them, I haven't done fret ends, none of that. I haven't had to do any of that. It's been pretty nice. The action, I have it set at between 28 and 30 thousandths here at the first fret, and it's a little over a 16th here at the 12th fret right now. The neck, we're getting towards winter, so the neck is starting to bow just a little bit. And so that's got the action just up a touch. I could tighten the truss rod up a little bit and solve that in 2 seconds. At some point I'll get around to that. All right, so what did we do down here? Well, cosmetically, I think the first obvious thing was replace the pick guard. Didn't have to do that. That was just a cosmetic thing. The other one was fine. But I thought it looked a little bit better with the tortoiseshell. However, if you are going to replace this, and this is a standard Stratocaster replacement pick guard, if you are going to put one of these pick guards on one of these guitars, get ready to start drilling, because I think maybe one of these pick guard screw holes lined up with the original holes. So you will have to do some drilling to get the new pick guard on there if you're going to do that. We put a Godot bridge. This is a Godot vintage spec Stratocaster bridge. You know, it's got the wider vintage 50s spec, just to give it more vintage feel. I kind of like that wider bridge. We swapped out the volume control. This is a Mojo Tone, I think it is. Vintage taper, 250K volume control. Tone controls are disconnected, so they're just there for looks now. I did wind up replacing the switch. It came with one of those cheap sort of PC board switches, and I wound up putting in a more traditional Stratocaster switch. I just kind of prefer. I was in there, and I figured, well, I'll just do it. The jack is original, strap button's original plate and screws. One thing to note about these guitars is the body is thin. It's the same as like a Squier Affinity strap. So that means if you put a vintage bridge on the back, it hangs out a little bit. To be honest, I don't even notice it. Don't even know it's there. So, you know, that's something to take into consideration. Okay, so at that point, now I got to that point and I had the stock pickups in it for a while. And, you know, they're okay. They get the job done in a pinch. They would be all right. And I wanted to like them, but, they're not doing it. So I had a few different kinds of pickups in this thing over the past couple of months. And I wound up doing exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, which is put expensive pickups in it. Yeah, I put expensive pickups in it. What these are DiMarzio Virtual Vintage Pro 54, neck and middle. I've had several versions of these pickups in several different Strats over the years, and they always sound great. They're my go-to pickup, and they fit well in here. So we used them in this, and they're noiseless, and I mean they're dead quiet. They don't make any noise. The cavity is shielded. I did shield the cavity, but didn't really need to because they're noiseless pickups. This pickup is out of a Slick SL54 project guitar I got going. I'm going to put a really super high output pickup in that. So I decided to take it in the pickup that was in it and put it in this. And I think it's a good match. It's doing a little bit, but that's all right. The strings are still getting hung up in the nut a little bit here and there, so I just gotta clearance the slots, I think, a little bit more. And I think I am gonna do something about maybe getting a set of locking saddles for the bridge. We'll mess around. We'll try some things. Oh, and one thing too, if you're gonna put one of these wire bridges on one of these, you're gonna have to re-drill the holes and everything. One thing you want to be aware of is that I used a drill press, and if you're going to use a drill press, you're going to need a 12-inch drill press. A 10-inch drill press, it won't quite reach. You really need that 12-inch because it's like, if you take the strap button off, it's like 5 and 15/16 of an inch to the line of holes for the bridge screws. So you can use a hand drill, but you're not guaranteed to get the holes nice and straight. Not as easily as with a drill press anyway. So something to be aware of with that. And so without the expensive pickups, you're looking at like $150 for the guitar, $100 in tuning pegs, the string tees, the nut, and the volume control add up to, they're $15 a piece. The bridge is $45. If you add all that up, round it up to make the math easier, it's about $340. Now with the stock pickups in it, yeah, that's not bad. That's a decent guitar. The stock pickups, like I said, not great, but they do the job. In a pinch, they get the job done. So, so you start putting expensive pickups in it. Well, these DiMarzios, as nice as they are, and I love them, they're not cheap. they're $100 a piece. So $340, you get $440, $540. This pickup is, I think, in the neighborhood of $50. A guitar finish, maybe a little bit less, but we'll call it $50 to be on the safe side. That's $590. Well, that's pushing $600 for this. And, that's fine if it's a guitar you intend to keep, which I intend to keep this. I really like the way this came out. I'm really, really happy with it. I really like it. The problem, though, is if you do something like that and you expect to, maybe I'll sell it and get some money for it. Well, unfortunately, it's still an entry-level Kramer. Even if you got all these mods on it, it's still an entry-level Kramer, and it's not even a Squire or anything like that, So resale value, even tricked out with all kinds of mods, is going to be pretty disappointing. So you have to take that into consideration. But like I said,